This is a very important message for you today, do not ignore it. Pay attention to this message. Beloved, if your soul has been searching for a moment that feels like a personal appointment with heaven, this is that moment. God has been watching the ache in your heart, the silence behind your smile, and the prayers you whispered in the dark when no one was looking. You may think heaven has been quiet, but God has been planning. And now, in this sacred moment, something is unlocking. Not because of anything dramatic you did, but because your faith survived the silence. You're not here by accident. This is the second heaven leaned in and said, "Now." Archangel Michael stands beside you, his wings open wide, not to protect you from danger, but to embrace you in the power of divine timing. The gates are opening, and the light that was blocked is now being released. But God says, "Before I flood their life with answers, let them speak to me one more time, not with fear, but with faith. Not with begging, but with boldness." And so, you are being handed the most sacred invitation. To say this prayer not just with your lips, but with your heart, and watch what happens next. Close your eyes. Place your hand over your chest. Take a deep breath and say these words aloud from your soul. God of mercy, I open my heart to you in this very moment, not to demand, but to declare. I believe you are the God of sudden shifts, of quiet miracles, of unexpected favor. I speak life over my dreams, healing over my pain, and clarity over my confusion. I release every burden I've been secretly carrying, and I invite you, Father, into the center of my story. If I've missed signs, help me see. If I've delayed blessings, help me align. If I've felt alone, remind me I've always been held. Amen. This is not a performance. This is power. Because what you just did was not religious, it was relational. God didn't just hear your voice. He felt it. And now, everything that felt stuck is about to feel movement. The angels have been released with assignments, and heaven is now watching your faith move mountains that were never meant to stay. You've prayed before, but this time the soil is ready. This time the atmosphere is open. This time your heart is aligned. Expect divine interruptions. Expect peaceful surprises. Expect favor where there was once frustration. Expect God to make up for lost time. Because this wasn't just any prayer. This was a divine unlock. This was your soul saying yes to the divine timeline God had hidden for such a time as this. God has always been a God of timing, not delay. There are moments in your life when you thought He was silent, but in truth, He was weaving miracles into the fabric of your waiting. What you didn't know then is now becoming clear. He was shaping a testimony that would not only change your story, but would inspire others to believe. Again. The moment you spoke that miracle prayer, something in the atmosphere shifted. The angels began moving on your behalf, doors began unlocking in the spirit, and the very ground beneath your struggles started preparing for your breakthrough. This was not just a prayer, it was a prophetic announcement that you are finally ready to receive what God has been holding for you. Heaven has never been late. The delay you experienced wasn't punishment, it was preparation. And now, that preparation is about to collide with manifestation. The pain you endured, the tears you cried, the nights you felt like giving up, none of it was wasted. God stored every drop of your suffering, and now He's turning it into rain to water the seeds you forgot you planted. The financial storm you've been walking through is not your destiny, it was a detour. The emotional silence you've been buried in is not the end, it was a season. And beloved, the season is shifting right now. The very things that once felt too far to touch are now being commanded by heaven to locate you. There is something different about this time. This time, God isn't just sending favor, He's sending clarity. He's showing you what was hidden, revealing what was covered, and making known what others tried to keep secret. The miracle you're about to receive is not just about blessing your hands, it's about opening your eyes. Because you were meant to see what was working for you even when you didn't understand it. You were meant to feel loved again, not by accident, but by divine design. God is not just answering your prayer, He's restoring your confidence, your fire, your purpose. The enemy tried to bury you in confusion, but God says, I will raise you in clarity. And now Archangel Michael stands behind you, his sword of light resting gently across your shoulders, not to strike fear, but to mark protection. He whispers into the wind that's about to blow through your life, no more delays. No more shadows. No more silent battles. The heavens are not simply watching, they're responding. You are no longer just surviving, you are stepping into divine authority. God is assigning help you never expected, answers you never asked for, and favor you never imagined. This is what happens when you pray not with empty words, but with surrendered faith. The miracle begins not when you finish the prayer, but the second your heart truly believes it. This is your moment to walk like someone who is already free. This is your confirmation that the things you've lost are not greater than the glory that's coming. The Lord is not done. He is just getting started. He is about to prove to you why it was good you didn't give up. You are about to see what happens when heaven says, yes, over your life. Heaven heard you. Not because your words were perfect, but because your heart was honest. The power of the miracle prayer is not in how loud you pray, but in how deeply you surrender. And when you said those words with trembling faith, God didn't just listen, He responded. The moment your spirit aligned with heaven, the spiritual realm began to adjust itself to favor you. The enemy thought silence would make you doubt, but instead it has awakened a stronger version of you, one who walks by faith and not by fear, one who dares to believe that even after all the delay, something beautiful is still coming. God is not limited by time, and He is certainly not intimidated by the mess. He uses it. He works through it. He blesses within it. And that is exactly what He's doing right now in your life. This part of your story is sacred. It may look ordinary from the outside, but inside, something supernatural is unfolding. The confusion is making way for clarity. The struggle is making room for provision. The loneliness is opening a path to divine connection. God is orchestrating something that doesn't make sense in the natural but is perfect in the spiritual. And if you could see the scale of what's coming, you wouldn't be worried, you'd be dancing. Archangel Michael is not standing with folded arms, he is in position, assigned to your name, shielding the miracle that's been carrying your breakthrough inside it. He has been fighting battles you didn't even know were forming. That pain you avoided, that betrayal you endured, that delay you hated, it was all part of a divine setup to bring you to this moment. God says you are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. And the moment you believed that prayer wasn't just words but a seed, something in the spirit broke. That seed was watered by heaven. It went into the ground of your past and started healing things you never talked about. It stretched into the roots of your anxiety and began restoring your trust. It reached into the parts of your life that were dormant and whispered, "Wake up. It's time." And now? Now the earth under your feet is shifting. You will begin to notice strange peace in places where there used to be panic. You will feel clarity in the middle of things that used to confuse you. You will see people walk away, and instead of feeling abandoned, you will feel relieved. Because God is not just sending blessings, He is making room for them. Your name has been mentioned in heavenly places. Your miracle is not lost. It's just arriving in perfect timing. And the reason it hasn't shown up until now is because you were being prepared to receive it without self-sabotage, without doubt, without guilt. This time, you will not question whether you deserve it. You will receive it boldly, with open hands and a peaceful heart. Because it's not about deserving, it's about destiny. And your destiny is calling, louder than your fear, louder than your trauma, louder than the opinions that tried to bury your worth. The miracle you prayed for is already at the edge of your reality. And every second that passes is drawing it closer. There are moments in life where everything feels quiet, but something inside of you knows a divine sound is coming. That sound is not noise. That sound is the confirmation that what was once stuck is starting to shift. It's the sound of chains breaking quietly in the spirit. It's the rustling of angel wings as they move around your name. It's the sound of a miracle approaching, not because you shouted for it, but because you surrendered to it. God does not respond to panic. He responds to peace. And when you spoke that miracle prayer in stillness, heaven released something louder than thunder. He released alignment. You are not just on a journey anymore. You are on a countdown to manifestation. That thing that was denied to you before is now being reviewed again by divine instruction. And this time, heaven is saying yes. This time, you are not going to beg. This time, the blessing will not pass by your door. Because your prayer wasn't just a request, it was the awakening of purpose. The words you spoke moved beyond time. They entered the courtroom of heaven where the Father smiled and said, "They are ready now. Send the miracle." This is not about getting rich overnight. This is not about a fantasy reward. This is about a holy restoration. The kind that wipes away the years of silent heartbreak. The kind that returns your name to rooms where it was once dishonored. The kind that brings financial peace after generational lack. You didn't pray for attention. You prayed for healing. You didn't ask for fame. You asked for divine help. And that's what makes you different. That's why the angels are on assignment. That's why Archangel Michael has been circling your name with a sword of protection. Because God doesn't just want to bless your hands, He wants to bless your heart. There are people who will not understand how your life is about to shift. And that's okay. This next move from God is not for explanation, it's for transformation. The people who hurt you won't have access to the new you. The pain that lingered in your chest will no longer guide your decisions. The voices of fear will be silenced by waves of confirmation. Because this is the reward of the faithful. This is what it looks like when someone stands in the storm and still says, "God, I trust you." Your miracle is not late. It's been waiting for you to align, and you just did. What happens next will be personal. God is not just sending a public miracle, He's sending private healing. He's entering the places no one sees. The memories you never speak about. The wounds you stopped tending. The questions you buried because you thought they'd never be answered. But now, in this holy moment, God says, "I remember." And because He remembers, restoration is now running toward you. Unseen. Undeniable. Unstoppable. There are prayers you whisper that heaven thunders. Not because of the volume, but because of the purity. Your heart, broken in places, still chose to speak. And in that trembling voice, God heard trust. In that silent surrender, He heard worship. You thought it was just a simple moment, but it was a portal. A gate in the Spirit opened, and angels were dispatched without delay. The moment you finished your prayer, God was not consulting time, He was commanding it. And He said, "Now is the moment I release what they've been waiting for. Your name is on scrolls in the heavenly realm. Your tears are not forgotten. Your quiet patience, the times you chose kindness over revenge, the moments you stayed loyal to people who didn't see your worth, none of it was wasted. Those choices were loud in heaven. They spoke louder than the noise of your enemies. And now, heaven is responding. You didn't need to beg. You just needed to believe. Because miracles don't come to the proud, they come to the yielded. And you, beloved, are yielded. You've bent but never broke. You've cried but never cursed your calling. That's why God is about to do something outrageous in your life. This is no longer about what was delayed. This is about what's being activated. Your miracle has matured. Your preparation has reached fullness. You've carried pain like a prophet and loved like a saint. And now God says, the weight they carried will now become the wealth they walk into. The kind of wealth that's not just financial, but emotional, spiritual, and generational. You are not just being blessed. You are becoming the blessing. You are the answered prayer of someone before you. And now your prayer is unlocking miracles for someone after you. This is the divine exchange. This is heaven's reward for the remnant who didn't faint. You may not feel it yet, but the shift has already started. Watch how people begin to reach out without knowing why. Watch how doors swing open that you didn't knock on. Watch how peace visits your home in the midnight hour. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. God has already decided in your favor. He has already written your name beside breakthrough. He has already called you chosen. And what God chooses, no man can cancel. No lie can undo it. No attack can reverse it. You are now walking into the part of your story where things make sense. Where the pain becomes the platform. Where the delay becomes the destiny. Where the forgotten become favored. God is moving quickly now, not because He rushed, but because you're finally ready. And this readiness is sacred. It's holy. It's sealed in heaven. So walk boldly. Pray daily. Smile deeply. Because the miracle is not on the way, it's here. And nothing will stop what God has already started in you. The air around you is different now. You may not be able to explain it in words, but something in your spirit already knows, something divine is drawing near. It is not just a feeling, it is a knowing. A heavenly assurance that your voice reached the right ears. Not the ears of people, not the ears of those who doubted you, but the ears of God, the Creator of time and light and mercy. He heard that 1-minute prayer not as a request, but as a sound of awakening. You thought it was simple. You thought it was small. But heaven treats your surrender like thunder. And now, the echo of that moment is shaking things into alignment. Every obstacle that stood in the way of your peace is now being commanded to move. Not by your force, but by God's authority. Archangel Michael has been released, and he is not standing idle. He is cutting cords that were tying you to old pain. He is closing windows that evil eyes once looked through. He is securing your name in scrolls that are sealed in gold, signed with grace, stamped with favor. And now, a new chapter has been written. A chapter where your delay becomes your announcement. Where the silence you endured becomes the platform of your celebration. This is not hype. This is harvest. And heaven is serious about your life now. There's a shift in your finances that is already stirring. But it's not just about numbers. It's about stability. It's about breaking the cycle of survival mode. It's about waking up in the morning without fear of the unknown. You've been loyal in lack. You've praised in private. You've helped others while your own hands were empty. And God did not miss any of it. The miracle is not just coming to fill your account. It's coming to restore your dignity. To remove the shame. To cover the cracks in your heart with gold. He is giving beauty for ashes, joy for mourning, and peace for anxiety. And yes, there are still people watching who doubted you. Let them watch. Let them witness what happens when someone dares to believe even with tears in their eyes. They thought you were finished. They thought you were weak. But God saw strength in your brokenness. He saw purity in your struggle. And He has chosen this exact time, this exact hour, this exact version of you to release the blessing that has your name on it. Not because you performed. Not because you were perfect. But because you trusted Him even when everything was unclear. You were never forgotten. You were being refined. And this moment right here, this shift, this miracle, this restoration, is proof that your waiting was never wasted. You're about to receive answers that will make you weep. Not because they are painful, but because they are perfect. Everything is about to make sense. You will finally understand why some people walked away. Why some doors stayed closed. Why some seasons were so silent. It was all heaven's choreography. Not a single moment was random. Every tear was a seed. Every prayer was a brick. And now, the foundation is ready. You've reached the moment where heaven stops waiting. This is not the season for hesitation. This is the divine moment where the heavens open without delay, and everything that was once postponed is now released in waves of mercy. The miracle you asked for, the quiet request you made with trembling hands, it was never forgotten. It was written, it was recorded, and now, it is ready. God did not ignore you. He was building the perfect moment around you. And now, the doors you once stood in front of, praying they would open, are being commanded by heaven itself to swing wide just for you. The delay was never denial, it was divine discipline. You were being trained in the silence, molded in the waiting, purified through the fire. And now the fire has served its purpose. You are no longer just someone hoping. You are someone chosen. The kind of chosen that carries favor even when surrounded by enemies. The kind of chosen that wakes up not begging for crumbs, but walking in confidence. God is not just adding a miracle to your life, He is rewriting your story with His own hand. What used to be pain will now be power. What used to be loneliness will now become legacy. Archangel Michael has not left your side. He has stood beside you in rooms filled with confusion. He has watched over you when no one knew how close you were to breaking. And today, under heaven's command, He has shifted something around your name. The attack that was launched against you has lost its grip. The sorrow that tried to attach to your future has been broken. The heaviness that sat on your shoulders like a cloak is now being lifted, thread by thread, until you feel light again. And when it's gone, you will smile, not because everything is easy, but because now you know heaven fights for you. God is not just answering your prayer, He is crowning your faith. You prayed for a miracle, but He's giving you a mantle. You asked for breakthrough, and He's giving you authority. This is why the wait was long. This is why the warfare was heavy. Because what you are stepping into now is not temporary. It is eternal. It is generational. You're not just being delivered, you are being anointed. And this anointing will unlock rooms your family could never enter. It will break cycles your bloodline couldn't escape. And it will set a new rhythm for your children's children. Now feel this, God is not trying to impress you. He is trying to free you. The freedom that's coming will be so deep that even your bones will feel peace. Your sleep will change. Your energy will return. Your vision will sharpen. And the same places where you used to question everything, those are the places where God will confirm everything. You will feel it in conversations, in divine appointments, in small signs that seem too personal to be coincidence. This is not the universe. This is your Father. And He is speaking loud and clear, the miracle is now. You may not have seen it with your eyes yet, but in the realm where angels walk and God rules, your name has already shifted. You are no longer identified by what you've lost, by what you didn't have, by who betrayed you. Heaven doesn't call you abandoned, it calls you anointed. And that miracle prayer you whispered, with all your pain hidden behind your words, became a divine signature. It opened scrolls you didn't know existed. It awakened promises that were locked for years. It shook the earth in quiet ways that will now reveal themselves in public victories. And the first wave of those victories is coming toward you as we speak. God is not moved by noise. He is moved by depth. And your prayer didn't need fancy words, it carried the weight of your life. The heaviness of your waiting. The tears of your loyalty. The quiet agony of holding on when nothing made sense. Heaven called that holy. And that's why the answer coming to you is not average. It is unusual. It is unexpected. It is divine compensation. The time you thought you lost is coming back in acceleration. The love you thought you missed is returning multiplied. The money that kept slipping through your fingers is now being held in place by the hand of God. He is assigning angels to guard the very things you used to pray for and never see. But now, you will see. Not just with your spiritual eyes. With your physical ones. Tangible things. Real opportunities. Open doors. A phone call you didn't expect. A person that changes the story. A moment that feels too good to be true, but it's not. It's what grace looks like when it reaches maturity. You're not just about to be blessed. You're about to be confirmed. God is about to let the world see what He always knew about you, that you were chosen. Not because you had it all together, but because you never gave up on Him. And that loyalty has become a magnet for favor. The kind of favor that cannot be reversed or ruined or revoked. And the truth is, you are not walking into this miracle alone. Heaven is escorting you. Archangel Michael is already ahead of you. Removing the people who once had access but never had honor. Closing the mouths that used your name without reverence. Silencing the lies that once followed your shadow. This is what divine justice looks like. Not loud vengeance, but silent elevation. You will rise, and they will watch. Not because you need them to see, but because God wants them to know He takes care of His beloved. This isn't just your moment, it's your movement. Every step you take now will lead to restoration. Every breath you breathe will carry purpose. Every word you speak will have weight. You will no longer feel small in the places that once intimidated you. You will no longer walk into rooms wondering if you belong. God is not just sending favor, He's sending identity. And with that identity comes clarity. You will know what to do. You will feel when it's right. You will hear when it's God. And that is the miracle beyond the miracle, the peace to finally trust yourself again. The Spirit of God is moving through your atmosphere even now, carrying fragments of healing into every corner where pain once whispered your name. What you're sensing right now is not imagination, it's visitation. A visitation from divine power responding to the purity of that 1-minute prayer you whispered in faith. That moment of surrender was not about magic, it was about permission. And God took your whispered, yes, and wrapped it in the arms of angels. He took your broken hope and gave it wings. You didn't just ask for a miracle, you activated one. And now, you are standing in the hour where the heavens cannot be silent any longer. Every divine promise over your life is waking up. Every word spoken over you in prayer, every dream you saw in secret but didn't tell anyone about, those are the things that are being resurrected. Not because of how loud you prayed, but because of how honestly you did. And now, the floodgates are not opening for someone else. They are opening for you. This is personal. God saw the nights you questioned if He even remembered you. He saw the moments you said, "Even if nothing changes, I still believe." And because of that, the harvest will not be delayed. You're not waiting on your miracle anymore. Your miracle has been waiting on you to believe it's already near. The angels are already assigned. The pathway is already paved. And the resistance you felt wasn't proof of delay, it was proof of depth. God doesn't build shallow miracles for deep hearts. He builds them strong. He builds them beautifully. He builds them to last. And what is about to enter your life isn't just a moment of goodness, it's a wave of God's intention made visible. Your relationships will shift. Your health will stabilize. Your peace will anchor you. Your soul will breathe again. You will wake up with a clarity that wasn't there before, and you will move with grace that feels supernatural, because it is. This is not just a spiritual breakthrough. This is emotional healing. You are being separated from false guilt, detached from shame, unhooked from trauma. Archangel Michael has been commanded to close the gates that once leaked your energy. No more being drained by people who never pour back. No more performing for people who refuse to see your worth. No more cycles of lack, loneliness, and confusion. Heaven is declaring a ceasefire over your mind. Peace is becoming your new rhythm. Clarity is becoming your compass. And joy? Joy is being restored not as a moment, but as a permanent residence in your soul. Your faith has created momentum. The prayer may have lasted 1 minute, but its power will last generations. You're not just being blessed for you. You're being blessed for those connected to your obedience. The miracle flowing into your life now will echo in the bloodline. Curses are breaking. Patterns are changing. And the very thing the enemy hoped you would give up on, your hope, your worship, your waiting, those are the weapons God used to break open the blessing. What you thought was weakness, heaven has called warfare. And you have won battles in silence that you don't even realize yet. You've made it to the part of your journey where nothing can remain the same. Heaven has already decided that this time, the answer will not delay. This time, the floodgates will not wait. This time, your miracle is not coming gradually, but suddenly. Because the prayer you whispered in silence was not just a request, it was a release. A release of pain, of fear, of control, of timelines. You didn't even realize it, but when you let go and trusted, heaven took over. And now, in the background of your life, divine arrangements are being finalized. God has already put your name in the right hearts, positioned your breakthrough in the hands of people you haven't even met, and whispered your future into the ears of those who once overlooked you. It is no longer about being seen. It is about being selected. Not by the crowd, but by the Creator. God didn't choose you for show. He chose you for impact. You were always different. You never quite fit in the molds people tried to put you in. And now you're about to see why. Because what he is about to do through you would never survive inside the box others try to keep you in. This miracle coming your way isn't small. It isn't just a financial deposit or a simple answer to a need. It is a shift of life. A holy interruption. A rerouting of everything that once felt stuck. God is giving you a new starting point, but He is also redeeming everything that was behind you. Your timeline is being restored. Your voice is being renewed. Your confidence is being built from divine stone. No more sand foundations. No more depending on unstable opinions. You will not walk into this next season unsure of who you are. You will walk in knowing, deeply, quietly, securely, that you are favored. That you are held. That you are more than enough. And that you carry a divine inheritance that no one can steal, stop, or delay. This is not the moment to look around and compare. This is the moment to look up and believe. Because what God is placing in your hands is custom designed for your journey, your calling, your DNA. Archangel Michael is not watching from a distance. He is guarding you like a lion guards royal blood. There are things that should have destroyed you. There are conversations that were designed to ruin your reputation. There were traps set so perfectly you never would have seen them. But heaven blocked it. You were spared, not because you saw the danger, but because God saw you. You are not a survivor of chance, you are a product of grace. And now, that grace is transforming into glory. The pain is becoming testimony. The waiting is becoming movement. The silence is becoming a sound of triumph. You are stepping into a version of yourself that only God could have built. And yes, you'll cry. Not from sorrow, but from sudden peace. You'll look around and realize that the life you once begged God for is now living with you. The financial peace. The relational clarity. The emotional healing. The spiritual strength. It's not in the distance anymore. It's here. It's now. The miracle is not coming, it has already begun. And every step you take from here is soaked in divine oil. You are walking in prophecy. You are walking in answered prayer. You are walking in the very thing you once only dreamed of. The 1-minute prayer you prayed will echo in eternity. Because it didn't just change a moment, it changed your destiny. If you believe in God, type Amen or 444 or 555 or 0002 111. Subscribe for more videos.